Hi, welcome to a run through of all the 4Ks and also Blu-rays. And I think that's it. I haven't got any DVDs that I've watched over the last few weeks. So let's just go through it. First one, also things like extras, the quality, the pictures, whether I liked it, whether all bits of things about the story. This one, very enjoyable. The bird with crystal plumage. I'm only about halfway through it, so at the moment, anything could happen. I'm guessing who the murderer is. You quite often look and think, I think that's it. That's the person or whatever. And also, obviously, various people get murdered. Though saying that, I haven't actually seen an actual anyone murdered yet. There was a scene at the start in this art studio, art gallery, I should say, where someone's just crawled and claustrophobic. This person sees her and, of course, can't get to her because he's behind these glass. What a weird way of doing the doors. But still, obviously, the police come. Police investigations are often always very weird. Then they, of course, end up having him as an amateur detective going off trying to solve it. And of course, then, for some weird reason, the person that did the murder is then, of course, attacking them. Why? Why not just let them go and sort of, that would make, but always, of course, they have to do that. And you just think it's a bit daft. But anyway. There's a special edition contents at the back. There's a usual selection of various ones, all talking about a documentary about the type of style of films, also the director, etc. To a new interview with the writer-director Dario Argento and also various other people involved in it. So I think that's always nice. I love these ones from Arrow Videos. The only thing about Arrow Videos quite often is their initial sort of when you first put it on, this blast of like VHS sort of Arrow video pops up. But it blows your eyes. You think, what the? Especially when the rest of the room is dark, it really stands out. But it's very enjoyable so far. Centurion. I love Roman films. Thoroughly enjoyable. This one's from the director of Dog Soldiers, which I haven't watched, and I assume that says The Descent. So Centurion. It's got Michael Fassbender in. Always very good. Also, you've got Olga Kurylenko as well, and David Morrissey, and a few others as well. Very enjoyable film. Great. Not one perhaps to be watching midwinter, but certainly during the summer I don't mind watching one where it's basically crawling through the snow in the film. I wouldn't survive 5 seconds. I would have been finished by the... But still, you got there Britain's answer to the Gladiator. Well, I thought Dominic West is great as the general as well in that. So it's got a few extras, not amazing, but still the making of the Lost Legion, which is odd when it's called Centurion, but anyway, it should have been the making of the Centurion maybe. But still, getting down and dirty, cuts and gore. The fireballs were amazing. They had these fireballs. Wow. Very impressive. Just what they had showing how they were doing the scenes afterwards. And I was thinking, whoa, that's... This was very good. The Red Sun, very unusual. I love German films. They're always odd. This one's a Rudolf Thom. New German cinema in this was I think 1970. Yeah, 1970. You got these women here who basically are killing their lovers after 5 days. They obviously go for a lot of people. You have this guy who comes into the house and he notices that certain things are happening, and he sort of sits there. It's very odd. Apparently he was one of the great stars of German cinema, and the people in it, I loved it. Very enjoyable, but it was an odd end, I have to say. This is from Radiance Film. Not too many extras, though. Poor selection, I think, of extras. I would love to have a few more, but still, actually, the discussion in there about German cinema was very interesting. There were a lot of films, though, I thought, why didn't they mention that film? Why didn't they mention that film? Obviously, they can only mention so many films, but some were thought, must go and check those films out. But I did enjoy it. Slightly odd pacing all the way through the film, so maybe not for everyone. It's one of those ones and I might, if I watch it again, think, crumbs, is terrible. Some films are like that, so you just sort of have to be in the mood for a particular type of film, something. Bit like this one. I did enjoy it. I'm not saying that it had its moments, I would say. Shameless. I always love it. They've got a different style. They really stand out on your shelf. The yellow, the church. And they've also got other ones as well, of course, that there's the Della Morte. I haven't got that. But I've just got Opera. I think that, I don't know if that's part of this series, but still, it's got a few little bits and pieces with it. But it's, it was odd. It could have been brilliant. That's one of the things when you watch these films, you think, really, they had that lovely close space, a bit like a shopping centre in the Zombies, Dawn of the Dead or something. You had a church. But it was just a bit daft. It took time to get going. You sort of like... You think, really. But it was, and there were some scenes I just thought unnecessary. And also the way Aisha Argento sort of just goes backwards and forwards. And also there were some scenes where I thought, hang on, they were making this church so the evil couldn't escape. Why was there this? So anything, they could have escaped easily. Anyway, they shut the doors. No, yeah, but there's lots of other ways of getting out. And you've got obviously there on the front cover, obviously to sell it. But personally, it was fine, but it just revolved around lots of people dying pretty horribly. And I thought they could have developed a lot of the characters a bit more. I didn't really feel that it was as good as it could have been. But again, it's one of those ones. Maybe I might enjoy it next time. I might see it slightly different. Did enjoy this. Tenebrae. I absolutely love this. Dario Argento's one. Absolutely odd. This one's another one. He's psychopaths. Razor wielding psychopath is stalking the thriller writer Peter Neal. That was just great. He was brilliant. Peter Neal was superb, and also all the various other actors and people in it, I thought were just great. John Saxon, he was brilliant. I love John Saxon. He's one of those actors you think, oh no, John Saxon. John Saxon's in the film, but wow, he was very, very good. And again, it's got Daria Nicoldi. I always like her. She's very good. I say John Saxon, Nightmare on Elm Street, it says there, featuring stark modernist photography. And that was the thing. The scene, the place, wherever it was, Rome, I think Rome. And it was just, or somewhere, but it didn't matter because it was like obviously set supposedly in the future after apparently a nuclear war or something. Maybe, who knows? But it was just like really weird. All the places had a desolate sort of feel. And I love that sort of thing in a film. You know, it was like still now, but at the same time, filmed like on a Sunday or something. Quite often back in the day, you could go up to like London or something, walk around, like all around London, the city of London, and it was completely desolate. And you know, you could have that just great. But I think that's changed a bit now. But still, you've got lots and lots of extras. And I just love some of the extras. Of course, it's got Kim Newman, always Kim Newman in them. And you've got Dario Argento, etc. The Unsane World of Tenebrae. You've got Japanese Shadow theatrical trailer, and so on. Lots and lots of extras there. You can see quite a long list. Now, some are very short, but I thought they were quite... The Rise and Fall of the Galileo. Again, virtually all of them seem to have that same sort of thing. Some variation of the history of. I wish they didn't always include that in every single one. So it's a bit, but again, Arrow Video. Or if you're going to do it, maybe do it from different perspectives, different groups of people. They always seem to have the same people. But anyway, I suppose those are the experts in that field. And they know lots of films and show lots of little clips of films. You think, oh, I must see that at some point. But there's probably millions of films that could fit into that category. Hitchcock, I love this one. Made me so rush out and get my box set of all the Hitchcock films and Psycho and all those sort of ones. Frenzy. A few of them I've never seen. I think, you know what, I must watch that. The Family Plot. Never seen that film, so I'm going to sit down and watch that. But this, Helen Mirren was great in this. I really, really enjoyed it. Anthony Hopkins, also Scarlett Johansson was great as well. I really did love that film. So that was that one there. And it had a few little bit of extras. You can see there, special features on the back, but hugely entertaining, it says there. And I agree. I thought that was a great little film. Love those sort of period, 1960s, obviously 60, 61, that sort of time. Always, if it's done well, just great. Mad Men, that sort of thing. I've got those as well. Love the Mad Men series. This I thoroughly enjoyed. Tarzan, this was a 4K. All the other ones I think are all Blu-rays. This one, 4K. Quality picture, absolutely superb, really good. I actually enjoyed the performance from Alexander Skarsgård. He was very good. Samuel L. Jackson was okay. Margaret Robbie was okay as well. Christopher Waltz, always great. I love Christopher Waltz. Brilliant in all the films I've ever seen him in. There's obviously all the various gorillas, he's right, all the animals and things. It was all apparently done. I must admit, it was well done. I was very impressed by it, how it was... And also very energetic all the way through. But it was, I don't think Samuel L. Jackson would have been able to keep up with Tarzan, to be honest, because all swinging backwards. There's no way. I mean, you would be, but it's a film, isn't it? And you've got the special features, a decent selection of special features, obviously creating the virtual jungle, because it was a virtual jungle. I mean, they obviously had bits and pieces of the things showing, but it was well done. I thought looked very impressive, and well, definitely recommended film. The Hands of the Ripper. Now, I've seen this years and years ago. Eric Porter, very good. Angel Rees, brilliant actress. Jane Merrow, you can see there on the back there, very good. The fact that he was, I thought, really? No, you wouldn't do that. As it was asking for trouble, basically, wasn't it? You know what was happening. Hands of the Ripper. Start of the film, you see the Ripper at the start, and you got obviously Angel Rees, obviously when she was younger, she sees obviously the thing happening, and then it goes forward. And well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good, but fake psychic is gorily murdered, etc., etc. Dr. John Pritchard cannot bring himself to believe the only suspect, a girl called Anna, is capable of such an awful act. Well, special features, decent selection, but they could have added. That was odd. Thriller. I don't know why they added that one in. I would have liked a few more additional ones other than that one. But Thriller, once the killing starts. But worth watching. The reason I got this, because there was, I think it was Twins of Evil. Apparently when it came out at the time, it was shared with that. And they put a trailer on the Blu-ray of that. And it said Hands of the Ripper. And I thought, oh, you know what? That looks a good Hammer horror film. And that was obviously from Network there. The British film, it says at the top. Very watchable hokum. If you're in the mood for it. And actually, I think it's probably one of these ones that they put on Legend Extra. Legend Extra, I've got loads and loads of recordings of, obviously, Hammer films. They're always putting them on. Also, of course, Talking Pictures. Great channel to check out if you want to see some really good films. Skyscraper, complete hokum. Absolute hokum, but thoroughly enjoyable hokum. Basically, sort of Tower Inferno meets Die Hard meets whatever. Daft beyond belief. Everything was impossible as far as I know, but obviously Dwayne Johnson makes it look like it's a, you know, it's all achievable, but really his arms would be ripped off. All the actions he was doing, hanging on to, flipping across things, going. I was thinking, but wow, you have to completely suspend. And it was obviously he was going there to save his family and various other things. You got the usual selection, though the villains were not as good as the ones, of course, Alan Rickman in the brilliant Die Hard. Die Hard will always, for me, be the great film because of Alan Rickman, more than Bruce Willis. I mean, to me, Die Hard is Alan Rickman. So that was, but bonus features were okay. They were interesting, showing various things, obviously showing how it's made, but also Dwayne Johnson embodying a hero, inspiration, opposing forces, etc. So you got the usual selection. And actually Neve Campbell was okay. She didn't have a major role in particular. She was obviously the wife, but it was still good. But actually, she's not going to say anything. This was good. I noticed in my local Keck already the new Empire one has already come out. Godzilla. I thoroughly enjoyed this. But the only thing I think with these is you get to the point where you're watching it and I'm thinking, cool, the building work afterwards. I mean, it takes us forever to build anything in this country. I mean, virtually the whole of London is a building site at the moment. It seems to be anyway. And you go see Godzilla versus Kong. Well, I bet maybe in many ways it'd probably be better. They could just flatten it because literally they just like all the time they're like swinging each other around, they're bashing into things, and Godzilla's got this blast of radiation. He would kill everyone. That radiation blasting out, literally just blasts it around, and I don't know. Well, can't obviously because there's another film. You can guess what obviously that it doesn't badly for either of them, but it's just not spoiling anything there. Of course, there's a second film. You know that Kong versus it's a franchise that will go on forever, and it'll be Godzilla versus Kong. And they'll keep battling it on. But anyway, Godzilla versus aliens, Godzilla versus this, King Kong and Godzilla versus Superman, whatever. But it was good. Thoroughly enjoyable. You can see there, the picture there, already some buildings. I thought the cast was great as well. Rebecca Hall was really good. Her kid was great as well. Little girl there, just absolutely lovely. Just the whole, and also, what's the name? Girl off Stranger Things. She was in it. Millie Brown and Millie Bobby Brown, I should say. She was good as well. But it was daft. Oh, I loved the bit they were. I was thinking, And the main villain of the story, I was thinking, really, they might have just had him sort of twirling moustache, I thought, at that point. But it was good. It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You really, again, one of these films you have to turn your brain off on. But how they built it up was good. An epic blockbuster, definitely was that. And also had some great extras as well. 10 featurettes. Most of the featurettes are only about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. And sometimes when I watch those ones, I always think, why couldn't they just combine them all into one? Because it really does take a long watching. You see, because you have to keep going backwards, up and forward the menu, backwards, up, down, into the thing, back, up, there, down. It's a bit fiddly to go through them all. But maybe it's a play all. There probably is a play all. I probably missed the play all bit, but there should be a play all, because I would just watch the lot in a row, go to have a cup of coffee or something and come back and dip into it kind of thing. But it was good. Any film with Rebecca Hall in. Yeah. Black Tight Killer. This was weird. This was truly weird. This was one of those weird, psycho, sort of unusual 60s films, Japanese films that just made no sense whatsoever. A film by Yasuri Hasabe. This was a Radiance film again. I absolutely loved it. Really good. There's I love all these Japanese 60s ones. This was just very psychedelic, sort of go-go, dancing, whatever, mix of stuff. It made no sense whatsoever, general story, but I did enjoy it thoroughly. And it had a few extras, decent extras, Blu-ray, limited special features, etc. You can see some of the list in there, interviews with various people. Again, not enough personally. I think it'd be great if they included a few more extras. And has it got a booklet? Yes, it's got a booklet. I love a booklet. There's a booklet. There was a lot of that in there, just throwing things, discs and whatever, CDs, sorry, not CDs, vinyl records. They wouldn't have had CDs then, that would be weird, wouldn't it? And you got there, that sort of scene. Those sort of, that was just great. The colours, I love films with lots of colour like that. And you can see there, obviously, the Black Tight Killers. It's got obviously details about the film. And again, you've got all this lovely colour there. Good. It was a good plot. It was a good story as well. So, watchable. And the next one I loved probably more than all of these ones. This one, Rabid Dog. I was surprised I paid £18 for it, but at the same time, it was worth £18 as a Blu-ray. Really, really good. They rob some, I think, salary. They from obviously they go in there and it's a complete mess. It's a bit like a lot of the Western films. You watch Western films, when they go into a various bank or something and then they run and all the people are always chasing them. You got everyone chasing, and then people get captured and then and it was superb. The three were just brilliant. There was like this professor guy. There was one complete, and I loved the bit afterwards. I didn't realise about the actors. They were nothing. Obviously they're actors. They were nothing like, but they really played so psychopathic. It was Rabid Dogs, definitely a really good. And Mario Bava, real quality film, really recommended as Italian crime film, just nuts. Small title doc, I knew Professor, I thought. 30, 32 and Blade are in desperate straits. When a hold-up goes wrong, the police are on their tail and only take a woman hostage allows them to escape for their lives. Well, on the run, they become more unhinged with every part. I think they were pretty unhinged already. They were completely unhinged most of the film. They take their hostage on a nightmare drive into the hut, but also they've got this other guy who's got this kid who's apparently got some medical problem. I'm not going to spoil anything else after that, but it was unfolding at a breathless pace in real time. A device seen only rarely in earlier films such as High Noon and 12 Angry Men, and unheard of in Italian cinema apparently. Tense and brutal crimes, and it was absolutely. I watched it all the way through. Thoroughly enjoyed every single second of it. Just great. Absolutely brilliant. Also there's some weird bits here, some additional, obviously, their original versions. Sometimes a lot of these productions, there were bits of it were a bit odd because, of course, there's always with a lot of these ones, I think they piece it together. So it's sort of like there was no real film, The Rabid Dogs. It was sort of like, because it was apparently there was the Kidnapped. There was another one of this. So it was actually turned into something else and there were bits chopped off and that sort of stuff. There are always complications. Nothing's ever stored away in a nice way. It's sort of like But this was great. And it's also got, obviously, it's got 3 discs in it. 3 discs. It's got 3 discs. And also, you've got a lovely little booklet, The Rabid Dogs. This guy was completely insane. And it was good. Really good. Oh, yeah, there he is. So you can... I loved it. Absolutely loved it. That isn't in the film, though. Why did they put that? That's diabolic. Well, why not put him in? I don't even think he was in the film. Was he in the film? Don't remember. He probably was. The young lizard wrestles an old dog. And also got little bits of here about the dialogue here, which is very odd. But still, a good little booklet. And also In Search of Rabid Dogs. That was the problem, because, of course, production of this DVD and Blu-ray was fraught with problems. So obviously suitable material to remaster the intended version of this film, and recounts how they actually went about that. It was great. Absolutely fascinating. They had a bit, obviously, discuss. Also, of course, you get the usual bit about the transfer, which is always fascinating, about all the various things, because it is just a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K version. A lot of these ones I don't think will ever be 4Ks. It'd be nice if they were, but of course, if they haven't got the material to actually make it into a 4K, I guess they're not going to be 4Ks. So, and then one of my favourite films of my childhood, I love this one, The Amazing Mr. Blunden, and I saw it was on a Blu-ray. I don't think there's ever 4K of this, and I love it. Absolutely. Quite often, I don't know if it's been on Talking Pictures. I think it might have been, but it was one of those films that you quite often, back in the 70s, it was on TV quite a lot. Absolutely love it. Lynn Fredericks, obviously, and what's his name? Lawrence Nesmith. Should remember his name, shouldn't I? Dinah Dawes, of course. Dinah Dawes was great. I love Dinah Dawes. Absolutely. And also it's got some special features. And of course it's got Kim Newman again. Yes, Kim Newman, I'm certain. Was it Kim Newman? No. The person that was similar to Kim Newman, Mark Gatiss. He's not actually looking like at all like thing, is he? Mark Gatiss. But Mark Gatiss is great. I really love it. He all discusses about all the various things that I just thought, yeah, that's exactly the same sort of memories that I had about those sort of things that time. And also the amazing Sarah Latimer, Remembering Bella, Madeline Smith. And it was great. Madeline Smith was very odd in that film, but I loved it. All the cast, I loved the bit you talked about, the actor, the main actor, the guy that owned the house that Mark Gatiss bumped into one time, falling out of a taxi or something. And I just thought it was just brilliant sort of story, those sort of memories of that sort of thing. It's Amazing Blunden. It's another nostalgic family classic from the Railway Children director. So I love Railway Children. It's a great film. But this, to me, is far better. I think Amazing Mr. Blunden, love that. So, makes no sense, the time travel aspect, obviously, because they're from one time they go back. But it's still beautiful, beautiful film, and just happy memory. And I will definitely rewatch this one many times. One of those films you can put on at Christmas time. It's not a Christmas film, but it starts Christmas. So you've got the Christmas element to it. It's probably been on Christmas time. Maybe that's one of the films you do get at Christmas time. But that is that for the films. They're all, like I say, all Blu-rays or 4K, one 4K. And 4Ks are still too expensive. I do stick to Blu-rays. For price and for quality, I think, to me, Blu-ray is the best. Everyone will have a different way of looking at it. They must have 4K or they must have DVD or whatever. But for in between the Blu-ray, you can get them for about £7 or £8, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. You can get them for a quid, 50p. Pick up in my local market quite often for a 50p or a pound. Anyway, something slightly disconnected. The Gulf Naples. This was Il Peplum. Now, I did get a book and I haven't got it here, but the Peplum film, this one I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to get this. Weirdly, you know when you get these books, you think, why? Oh, why have a like that? What a waste of space. And then the next page, let's just turn the next page. Sorry, what's that called? Do Peplum? I suppose the desert. Maybe there's some sort of, I don't know. Anyway, but still, once you get past that, you got some brilliant posters. Unfortunately, obviously not. This is an Amazon published book. It's never going to be a sort of super quality that you get on those lovely books from the 70s or 80s. But you've got these ones, and it's still great. And it's in Italian now. If you don't mind reading the Italian, I can just about make it out. It's not too difficult to work it out. I did study Italian when I was younger, so it's sort of. But this, and I did enjoy a lot of these films when I was younger. You don't see them so often. Now, someone contacted me and said about all the films that, and he said, oh, you can get them on here, get them there. And obviously you can get them on like YouTube and things. That's always a great place to check out. And there's obviously many other sources as well. But it is pity because there's been great films. They were really good. And I say the Centurion sort of was listed in the big Peplum book that I got. And I thought, oh, I love those films. And also I bought Black Sails. Black Sails, probably my favourite all-time series. Pirates, just amazing film. Just got this as well. I will be doing a review of these ones, but I just sort of mentioned Doctor Who production diary. Saw this at the Comic Mart and I thought, should I buy it? Put it down, picked it up, put it down. And I then bought a half dozen other books as well. I thought, I can't afford everything. I think it was about £29 at the Comic Mart. It was £19.99 online. So I bought it there, to be honest. I think it's on the Telos site. So obviously you want to go to the Telos site, check that out. But obviously you can find it cheaper elsewhere. But I love the Telos site. The Telos site's great. And they've got a lot of Doctor Who stuff. Really is an amazing site for Doctor Who things. Obviously Telos, strange enough, the Cybermen. But you got there 1964, you got all the way through. It's just fascinating going through all the various things, what were happening in the office, where the filming was, the production, what the people were doing, what they're having for a cup of tea, whether they're going off to this or doing whatever. Whole range of publicity, merchandise and different things you get here. It talks about even things, discussion about the TV Century 21 comic strip was licensed to, et cetera, et cetera. TV Comic, of course, had it. Obviously, William Russell and Jacqueline Hill paid for their Ealing filming for The Crusade. I mean, great information. Not really much use to most people, but it's fascinating, all the bits. So it's a real insight into the world of TV, obviously of this style of TV. It would be great if all the various films, TV series of that time had these sort of massive books, but you need to dedicate. This is a labour of love. The William Hartnell years does give us a suggestion, since it does say 1 on there, that there's going to be a second volume. Hopefully there will be a second volume. I don't know if it's actually said, oh, there is. I didn't even look at the back. Wow. I love that. The Troughton years, I wonder when that's coming out. I will be buying that. Patrick Troughton was my favourite time. Loved Patrick Troughton. Just brilliant. Obviously Deborah Watling, I got a brilliant book about Deborah Watling, Wendy Papri, of course, Fraser Hines, and Polly, Ben, all those sort of ones. There were a whole load of, just loved it. Just loved that period. Obviously, John Pertwee was fine, but I wasn't such a fan of John Pertwee. Tom Baker was fine, but Patrick Troughton forever will be my Doctor. And I got this one from second-hand, obviously my Oxfam. I shouldn't say second-hand shop, Oxfam. It's not. Well, it was actually the hospice shop. And brilliant. I love this one. Again, one I will be reviewing, because 1,705 films of MGM described all. I assume that is everything, all the films. Though the thing is, of course, that as it mentions at the start, a bit of confusion, because of course they got different ones from all the various groups of people. Plus they did various deals with various. So there's a whole lot of complexity. So not all the films. Obviously, these I assume are just the MGM ones that were actually going out under things, obviously 1926, etc. I mean, it's just an amazing book. I had this years and years ago, and I thought, oh, for £1.50, I will buy that, because that is just the complete history of 50 roaring years. Now, I don't know what happened. MGM sort of, I suppose they all sort of fizzled out and it all became something else. They're doing this, doing that. Who knows? And the Avengers at Celebration. I love TV series, things like the Avengers. And again, this was £1.50. And only pity about this book, and I thought would have been really, really nice, and a missed opportunity, and maybe there's not that much about it. Nothing about a police surgeon. I know it's not really the Avengers, but it would have been nice if they had about 3 or 4 pages all about behind the scenes, the episodes of that, maybe. But you got obviously series 1 there. Obviously, I watched that one. Yes, they had a DVD DVD I think it was, where it had Patrick McNeil. That was just brilliant. I love that. I love those black and white ones. It's just really odd episodes. And of course, there's lots of ones that sadly long gone. Hopefully someone will discover them. There'll be a big pile of the Avengers, along with Ready, Steady, Go. Every single episode of Ready, Steady, Go. Please. That would be, and also all the Top of the Pops from the 1960s as well. I know everyone else goes rushing after the Doctor Who's. I love Doctor Who, but I would have to say those ones, Top of the Pops and Ready Steady Go, would be on my list of the things please rediscover. They're just tucked away under some vault somewhere. They've got to be. Avengers, a celebration, 50 years of television classics, Titan books. I must admit, I've never seen that book before, so I was quite pleased to pick it up. One of my mates came down this weekend and he said, how on earth can you find any Blu-ray or DVD? They're not in order. And I totally agreed. I've been piling them up, and I thought, right, just going to go through it. Now, what I've done, alphabetical. Of course, that's the most obvious way. Always, of course, with alphabetical, you think, should Clint Eastwood go with the C's? Should Eastwood, so on and so on. Also, Doctor Who, I've grouped into Doctor Who section. Also, I've got a section of like Star Trek, Marvel comic selection, a DC comic one as well. There's some Planet of the Apes, certain series I've got quite a few of, and it just feels wrong putting them in sort of all over the place. I mean, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, they've all got to go as Planet of the Apes. So I've done all that, took forever, had piles and piles of DVDs and Blu-rays all over the place, as well 4Ks of course, and it's just like, finally, after 2 days of sorting them out and going through them, making certain, because then you look at it and start thinking, is this before this or that? And it gets a bit confusing, especially when you've got like foreign ones as well. You start thinking, should that be there or is the A before? Anyway, it's all in order. Now you've just seen, obviously I've just shown all the clips of my bookshelves. Now I've got some Blu-rays, DVDs behind others. Some shelves don't have that, but others just ran out of space. I just realised when I got to a point when I think it was M, I'd run out virtually all my shelving. So I thought, oh, I've got to have that shelf that I was using for books, actually now with the DVDs and Blu-rays. But I've also had to put them behind, otherwise they just wouldn't fit. So hopefully that will last 3 weeks until it all starts falling to pieces again and they start getting out of order. So hopefully it'll make it easier to find the various Blu-rays. Think, you know what, I'm going to sit and watch XYZ this week, and hopefully I'll be able to find XYZ fairly quickly instead of going and then just giving up and thinking. Now I suppose some people put them in colour order. There's always that. You could put them in date order, like 1966, 1967. How complicated would that be? Also maybe producer or director order. Or there's a number of other combinations. I'm quite a cinematographer, whatever. There's certain orders, I'm certain everyone could, different countries, you could sort of have them, obviously English, Japanese ones. Also, of course, genres, which is harder. I must admit, genres are very hard because sometimes you think, is that horror or is that science fiction, crime? Sometimes they overlap and you think, well, you know, let's put them. So I've just gone for the easiest alphabetical order, not date order when they release or when I bought them, all those sort of things. That would be too complicated. Anyway, hopefully you found the pictures of interest, and please put in the comments below if you actually would just prefer sort of a video run through of all those DVDs and Blu-rays. I can just go obviously through it and discuss obviously as I scan or thing, and maybe also put slightly better lighting as well, because I didn't do it. I just quickly took a few photographs, thought I'd just quickly show it. We'll do it books at some point as well, but the book's a bit harder. You can see from behind, it's very tricky. Where do you put all things? Do you put in Marvel epics? Do you put showcase ones? And I've got art sections, how they overlap with different sections. And also, of course, non-fiction books, fiction books. And now, of course, I could go for colour as well. But then, of course, you can see there, obviously, the Marvel first, they're white. And then you've got other ones that are white as well that don't really overlap. Do you do it by size? Maybe some big books? Do you do it by paperback or by hardback? Complexities of doing this. However, I did actually get around to finish this. It took a few days because I've just been doing other things to sort of I was doing some salsa last night. That was very enjoyable. Thoroughly enjoyed. So I didn't actually get around until quite late to actually finally finish this off. And I did enjoy it. Bird with the crystal plumage, really, really good. And it was similar to other ones I've seen, of course. That similar style where you've got you see something happens, and then you sort of like, did he see everything? Did he see the full story? And of course, there's twists and turns. Actually, I did feel that the police were a bit better in this one. Not much better, but they were a bit better than previous ones, because sometimes the police seem to just say, oh, you know what, just go off and do the investigation for us. And, oh, by the way, you might be killed, which is normally the sort of thing that seems to happen. They always seem to like leave them sort of wandering around, and the killer, of course, then phones up and says, blah, 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 and they think, oh, we'll head off to X, Y, Z, and then there's a twist, of course. However, I did enjoy the special editions. There was quite a good couple of good ones. They've got some that I've sort of seen before, or very familiar, very similar ones. Obviously, the Cinema of Dario Argento. That's obviously, I mean, they might be different, but they're sort of obviously covering the same sort of topic, maybe from a different point of view. But I did enjoy the various ones. That was actually, yeah, also slightly confusing, because I actually say this is the author of, I'm just looking at it thinking, author of Devil Advocates. Now, I don't remember that bit, but I remember obviously the actual discussion. That was quite good. The Eva Renzi, really enjoyed that. That was a fun, interesting conversation with her. Sadly, she died a couple of years ago, but it was just amazing. Just her discussion about various things, about the role. Sort of think, okay, not going to say anything. Not going to say anything about the role that she did, but it was very... Also, there's a few other ones. Actually, I love the one with the guy, and I can't remember. Oh, new interview with the actor Gildo De Marco, the Gorilla the Pimp. He was really good as well. That actually was a long one. That was about 30 minutes. 30-minute documentary where he was discussing, and he showed a few films, some like The Tram by Dario Argento. I've never even seen that on Blu-ray or DVD. Might exist, but I've never seen it. And also, of course, it's got the usual selection of other things as well from Arrow Video. Now, I've got a few Arrow Video DVD, Blu-ray, I should say Blu-rays coming, because there's been a sale. So if you're looking for some really reasonably priced ones, I would definitely recommend popping over to the Arrow website and just looking for, obviously, some of their Galileo box sets. I think reasonably priced, because they were from about 50 odd, 53 or 4, down to about 25 quid at the moment. Obviously, it might change really. And also, of course, you can also find them in places like HMV. I think they're doing quite good deals on Arrow as well, though that might just be online. I haven't been down to my local HMV just to check it out for maybe some Blu-rays there. I will probably do that in the next couple of days just to see what they got. But it's possible it's just online. I don't know. But certainly the Arrow one, I've got a couple of box sets and things coming. Really good sets of things. And I will, of course, be running through those once I've got them, and also maybe watch them as well at some point. One trouble is sometimes you buy these things, and of course some new things come out and you think, oh, I must get that. And then you never actually get to watch the other things. So it's one of those. So I'm looking forward to any of those sort of sales. Whenever you see a sale, it's like Radiance, all these sort of ones. They're always great to check out. Anyway, I hope you found this of interest. Obviously, run through all the various DVDs and Blu-rays, and of course also the books. And since then, I've actually bought a few other books. Also got some bids on some books as well. So I've got a few ones upcoming for those as well. I've also finished reading Wonder Woman. That's one that I've had on my shelf for a long time. Wonder Woman Volume 1, John Byrne 1. That was very enjoyable. Unusual. Not certain. Unfortunately, I haven't got Volume 2, so I don't know how the stories continue from that. But certainly the Volume 1 was very good. Had a mix of, like Phantom Stranger was in it. Obviously, there was the Champion. There was also Flash. Or was he Flash? I don't know. But also the Green Lantern / Sinestro, and a few other characters as well. It was very well done. And, well, that's my current reading at the moment, and all my various things. Now, of course, got to go and see some more Blu-rays to watch for the next run-through. What are you watching? What's your favourite Blu-rays and DVDs you're watching? Or are you just watching streaming at the moment? I mean, there's been some good things. I actually looking forward to, with streaming, the Anthony Hopkins, the Roman drama that's coming on. I think that's on the 18th, which is not very far off now, only a day or 19th, might be 19th. I look forward to watch that. I definitely enjoy those ones. And there's also another one that I was watching that was very good on Netflix. My Netflix is running out very soon, which is amusing since I get 4 million lots of emails saying about your Netflix is running out. Well, it's true, but these ones are all obviously scam ones. I'm just saying, yeah, it is running out because I'm probably not going to continue with it since I'm watching too many other things as well. And so that's, with that, it will finish. And likewise now TV as well. I've got running to the end of my 24 months contract. Always have to check and make certain you don't miss all the various dates, all the auto renewals and things. But those things always back of your mind, you think you must remember to check to get rid of that. Because basically you reach a point where I've watched most of the things that I want to see on it. There's always going to be new things. I'm quite certain Netflix, I will renew it at some point, but I've got too many other things to watch as well. So, bye.